guys? Chris, VA Travels. I'm out here at the Tappahannock Marina out here in Essex County, and I'm going to take a boat ride along the Rappahannock. Captain Daniel Kurtzel with Tipsy Charters is nice enough to take me out and just take a look at some sites out on the river and just give you some history on some events that occurred out there. We're also going to take a look at the Kampaka. It's a sunken ship out there, so should be cool. And while I wait for him, just taking a walk around, and I saw these two giant vehicles. I don't know what they are. Maybe this is Big Jack. I'm assuming it's a military vehicle because you can see that hatch down there lowers. Where I don't know if you would load cargo on there or if soldiers came off. Maybe it's for loading cargo. But yeah, second one over here, the Wild Sally, and yeah, some serious machines right there. So pretty cool. I'm trying to see if there's a ladder, if there's a way to get up there, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this is obviously the Rappahannock, and this is Hobbs Hole, or they called it Hobbs His Hole back then, going back to the 1650s. And it was the first port set up here at Tappahannock. There's deep water anchorage, that's why it was chosen. So Tappahannock proper over there, and the Thomas Downing Bridge, named after Virginia Senator Thomas Downing. All right, I'm gonna wait for Captain Dan. All right, guys, taking off. And real quick to tell you, those vehicles, they're called Larks. They were driven down here from New York about a year ago. 4 diesel engines, 1 to power each wheel. And the owner is going to use them for dredging, so crazy they're still operational. And where those reeds sat was the actual Hobbs His Hole harbor, and hole is just an old word used for harbor back then. And yeah, we're right on top of a bunch of ballast stone that was taken off the ships as they arrived to port, and Water Street connected Tappahannock at the time. Okay, you see remnants of some piers over there. And again, Queen Street, the Downing Bridge. I don't know if you can see it, but there's about 1 million birds down on those pillars. Yeah, you can see the pier coming out. There's a big deck right there, obviously. Some osprey, I think. There's an osprey nest right there. I think we scared them off. Oh, and to let you know, across where there's Prince Street, the main drag through town straight ahead. Those condominiums were built in the 70s. It was originally the Dobbins House. Then it became the Riverside Hotel in 1899. That one would go by the Anderton House. And last I read, they were used as kind of dormitories for the All St. Margaret School, all-female school. And to the left is the Broken Borough House. And then to the left of that is the actual St. Margaret School. Those pillars, that was the old steamboat wharf. There were 2 of them. And yeah, you had a line back in the 1800s that ran regularly from Fredericksburg all the way down to Rappahannock, wrapped around, went up the Potomac, all the way up to Baltimore. So pretty crazy. And before Tappahannock was charted out, this was a big plantation owned by a guy, Roger Coleman, late 1600s. All right, and the reason why the water is a little brackish in this area, it's where salt water meets fresh water. And they kind of use that bridge is the line. If you're on the other side of the bridge, you've got to have a freshwater license, fishing license, saltwater license on this end. And there've actually been porpoise spotted out here. According to the Essex County Museum, they found whale vertebrae, shark's teeth out here. And to tell you the story of the Kampaka, ship built during World War I, 1918. It was built quickly within 5 months. Wasn't built very well. I had one official voyage through the Philippines, through East Asia. Kept breaking down, so it was eventually scrapped. take it to the Potomac, pretty much left for scrap. Then in 1924, a guy bought the ship, and he pretty much docked it right out front of Prince Street there at Tappahannock. And he used it kind of just to store corn, grain, and whatnot. It was an eyesore. The residents of the town weren't too happy about it. But in the 1930s, a hurricane came through, huge storm, pushed it all the way out here to the middle of the river, where it got stuck in the mud. That's where it sits today. And the hull is made of wood, pretty much is disintegrated, but the iron beams are still right underneath the water. And oh, in 1949, it sat out here, still exposed. It was kind of used as a gentleman's club. Guys would come out here and play cards and whatnot. But in 1949, it burned down. And I had read somewhere an oil lamp was knocked over. I heard there was some sort of fight. I heard that some say that local women burned it down. They weren't too happy about their men out there playing cards. So, okay, so that buoy would mark the stern. And 275 feet long. I don't know if you can see the little flag right there. That'd be the bow up there. Yeah, like I say, this thing is just right below the surface. The water's murky, so of course you can't see anything. Okay. All right.
My side scan sonar here, and you'll see this start getting real deep, and then hopefully you can distinguish what the ship will look like. Oh, and I'm going right over top.
Here we go, about 5 feet of water, and there it is. Is that the bow or?
Yep.
Okay.
You see now we've jumped down to 16 feet of water.
Pretty cool. And I don't know if you can see the rippling out there, but yeah, it's right under the surface. And now we're headed to Hoskins Creek. Hey, just wanted to jump in and give a shout out to Dan at Tipsy Charters, also Nate, the June Parker Marina, our history guide. Had a really good time. I would check him out. As far as I know, he's the only one in the area offering tours. Offers a wine cruise, sunset cruise, of course a history tour, fishing trips, so check him out. I'll put his information in the box below. Back to the video. And while we're headed up there, I'll tell you a quick story about how Tappahannock saw action during the War of 1812. Down off Tangier Island, 4,000 British troops headed out on what I had read 8 frigates, 13 schooners. Sounds like a lot. Bombarding all the different towns along the way. They had reached Tappahannock, and Archibald Ritchie mustered up about 50 men, had 1 cannon. Needless to say, it wasn't too effective. They ended up fleeing town. The British bombarded the town, took it over for a couple days. I know they burned down the jail, burned down part of the courthouse. One of the cannonballs ended up in the Brackenborough house, and from what I had read, there's a cannonball still stuck in the mantle today. So, yeah, neat piece of history. All right, coming up on it. Oh, something else real quick I'll tell you. The only lighthouse that was ever on the Rappahannock was Bowler's Rock Lighthouse, a few miles downriver, built 1868, and it was destroyed by ice early 1900s. Okay, we're in it now. See a small marina up there, and this is Water Street. Cuts through town and goes all the way to the Hobbs Hole, Hobbs His Hole. Maybe about a mile down. And on the other side of the reeds is a Purdue granary, and that's where pretty much all the corn around here goes to get processed. Pretty cool looking house. Oh, heron right over there, pretty cool. And this is what's left of the old marina. A couple cottages. cottages up there. Wouldn't mind living in one of those. A few ducks in there, and for you locals, there was an old ice plant where that building sits. Okay, a couple mallards, it looks like. A couple turtles right there, beached up on that log. Oh, there they go. I wonder if we scared them. An old abandoned building right there. And you'll see a barge right there they fill with grain. Oh wow. Yeah, when that thing's loaded up with corn, the thing goes down to 10 feet, if you can see on the side. Wow, so apparently it's empty right now. Yeah, a lot of wildlife back here. Seen a bunch of kayaks. Pretty nice place to hang out. Water's calm for the most part. One other thing, Captain John Smith stopped in Tappahannock 1608 on his quest for that Western Passage. Came up the Rappahannock, stopped off at Tappahannock, and he was chased away by local Indians. And eventually got to Fredericksburg, had to turn around because of the falls. Okay, osprey right there on top, on the lookout. I see another one in the nest. Okay, just left Hoskins Creek. We're shooting out to the other side of the river. And real quick, I'll tell you about pirates on the Rappahannock. Pretty crazy, going back to the 1600s. French privateer pirate Captain Pullman would pirate colonial ships full of tobacco leaving for England, and England merchant ships arriving to the New World. And yeah, a vigilante group of colonists tracked him down to a creek a few miles upriver in Caroline County, a little ways before you get to Port Royal. Yeah, followed him into a creek where he was captured and killed. And the creek is now called Pullman's End. So crazy, yeah, pirates on the Rappahannock. So over there is the old ferry house, and it was built from scraps out of the Kampaka. And yeah, obviously before the bridge, you had a ferry going from about here to, you're not gonna be able to see it, but a ridge over there. And yeah, what they would do is stick an orange flag up in the air when somebody needed a ride. And when the captain saw the flag, he would putt across, pick somebody up. And if there was a black flag in the air, it means he was off duty. I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but I could see kind of round little portholes, and you could tell that came off a ship. Yeah, we're at low tide right now, so I can't get any closer. Point Creek. This is Nailor settlement, site of Nailor's plantation. And yeah, the owners owned about all of Richmond County originally. And some pretty nice condos over here. Yeah, these things got hit hard about 10 years ago by a hurricane. Yeah, the old Nailor's Wharf. Oh yeah, he came around. Going back to his nest. Okay guys, coming up on these cliffs, and this is one of the only areas on the Rappahannock that looks just as it did when John Smith came up in the 1600s. And it's now being used by the Rappahannock Indian tribe, so pretty neat to come up to this undeveloped part of the river. Oh, and they also found a megalodon tooth around here, a little bit bigger than my hand. And you can take a look at it, or at least they talk about it. I'm not sure if they have the tooth there, but at the Essex County Museum. So, pretty cool. All right, got back to land, headed back to Fredericksburg, and had a good time. Thanks again to Dan with Tipsy Cruises. As always, like and subscribe. See ya.